Aloha, beautiful souls, and welcome to another transformational reading with Rian. And in today's reading, we are going to be looking at what it's like dating your future spouse. So, we're going to take a look at just kind of the overall vibes and the energies of dating them, but we're also going to take a look with some of the tarot cards as well, like maybe one, possibly two dates, some memorable dates that you'll go on with your future spouse. So get ready for like story time because we're going to really lean into this idea of dating your future spouse. So everybody take a nice deep breath in and exhale out. We're going to ground our energies and get ready to receive the readings from the various groups. So one more time, deep breath in and exhale out. Beautiful. I love it. So the card that showed up on the top while we were shuffling is this beautiful heart right here. And it says, oh, wow, this is perfect. Soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will physically manifest. Oop, I switched those last two words. So definitely what I'm getting here, this, for those of you drawn to this reading, for sure, your future spouse is soulmate energy, okay? Now, I'm thinking, more and more these days because people tend to be marrying for love, that there is a higher chance of soulmate connections versus before when marriages were more out of convenience or out of consolidating or increasing wealth and property and things like that. But this is a beautiful message to receive that you will definitely feel that soulmate connection with your future spouse while you are dating. And it's good that you're watching these readings because being in this energy is going to connect them to you on that spirit plane, and then it's just a matter of time before you meet each other in reality, in physical life. So I'm so glad you're here. Now let's get started with group number one's reading, okay? So hey there, group number one, welcome to your reading, and we're gonna find out, oh, I totally forgot that this little crystal was not part of it. Oh, there we go. What it is like dating your future spouse. So to start your reading off, we have the foxglove. Let's reveal the other cards here. You also have indecision and rain with purification. Ooh, okay, so this is very interesting actually. So part of the symbolism with the foxglove is that it was used to prevent changelings from infiltrating a house, okay? So in like the lore of the fairies or the fae, F-A-E, I think some people actually spell it F-E-Y. They would sometimes switch newborn babies out with a fae child who would take the shape and the form of the baby. And then the human baby would be raised by the fairies, and then the fae child or the changeling would be raised by the human parents. Now, what this kind of alludes to when it comes to the author of this deck is that a new side of you is going to be revealed. And in this context, it is while dating your future spouse. So you are going to start to explore new things while you're dating your future spouse, and you're going to start to reveal different aspects of your personality. And some of them are going to be new and wonderful, and you're going to embrace them fully. These new interests of yours, these new sort of aspects of your personality that you're able to let shine through being with your future spouse, dating them, that maybe you kind of tucked away or you repressed before you met them. And with your future spouse, it's kind of like you can really, truly 100% be yourself. Now, in this process of dating your future spouse and just being who you are as a result, you're going to start to notice that certain things don't fit in your life anymore, and certain ways that which you were living don't really resonate with you anymore, okay? And your future spouse is going to help really facilitate that. And this is that purification process that's coming through with the rain. So maybe there's some habits that you had before that were not healthy for you, for example. And being around your future spouse is this motivation to have healthier habits. And so you kind of get you're able to move past some of these unhealthy habits and embrace this new version of you, okay? And other things that might not be quite like that, but more so just where things that maybe you were putting time and energy into that you weren't really interested in anymore, but maybe you felt obligated to do them because you've been doing those things for a long time, and you never really just thought, okay, what else would I do with my time if I'm not doing this thing, right? Well, now that you're dating your future spouse, there's less time for you to do those things that you really aren't interested in anymore, and more time to explore the things that you are, new things, right? So, like, for example, like right now, I am playing this online mobile game, and I'm really like, I'm not really feeling this anymore, but it's like a nice thing to do when I want to turn my brain off, right? It's just like a simple game, and I could just kind of zone out while I play, and that helps kind of me relax. But what I'm feeling now is like that game isn't as exciting to me anymore, and I really don't want to play it. But it's like, what am I going to do with extra time, right? I mean, eventually I'm just going to quit. There's a special character I'm waiting for it to come out, so that's why I'm hanging on for like maybe another month. But anywho, I feel like you can think of that as a situation that will be similar to yours, okay? Because now you're like, don't have to wonder what you're going to do with the free time once you abandon this hobby or this interest of yours, because your future spouse, while you're dating them, is going to occupy that time. Okay, so that purification is sort of like a cleansing, releasing, getting rid of things that no longer fit you. Now, with this indecision card, this is really interesting because anytime someone is going through a transformational phase, there's a lot of questioning. Like, who am I becoming? Is this really me, or is the old version really me? Am I changing because of the circumstances and that's not really who I am? Or am I truly adapting and becoming who I'm always meant to be? And so there's going to be a bit of like this identity crisis when you start dating your future spouse, because you're going to be exposed to these new things, you're going to be letting go of some things, and you're going to be like a different person. And it's going to throw you off because it's like, perhaps when you look at the mirror, it's like the person looking back at you, you don't even recognize them anymore. You know, let me know if you've ever had that experience before in the comments down below with like a little heart or like a hand raise kind of thing. Because I know I've gone through that phase before as well, where it's kind of like you thought you knew who you were, and then the world changes, life changes, your circumstances change, and as a result, so do you. You change. And you're like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even know myself anymore, right? It kind of happened to me when I was in medicine. And there was this period where I didn't recognize myself, and I was like, what am I trying to do with my life? What am I trying to achieve with my life here? Is this really what I want to be doing? You know? And even to this day, like right now, as I'm doing this reading, like I'm still evolving and changing, which I hope you continue to grow and evolve through the course of your life as well. But it can be a little bit disconcerting, right? It can be a little bit stressful at times to not know who you really are, or to embrace something so different than what you're used to. So I feel like it's going to be exciting nonetheless, because your future spouse is really exposing you to new things, and it's exciting because you have this partner to do things with, right? Someone that can kind of hold your hand as you go through these new experiences. But at the same time, I get the sense it can feel a bit overwhelming, and you might need to like pause and take a break and take a breather from doing all these new, daring, bold activities that you're not used to, you know? I definitely get this vibe that it would be nice to kind of like pace yourself, right? Pace yourself as you go through these changes and shifts in your identity. Or again, like I said, it could even be more so you are becoming the person that you were always meant to be, because your future spouse really creates that vibe and that atmosphere for you to be yourself and still feel loved and supported, you know? So this is going to be sort of a story about one of your more memorable dates while you are in courting with your future spouse. So let's see what this story has. And then I feel like we can totally draw like another set. So we have the Five of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Five of Coins. So actually, as I was flipping these cards over, the vibe that I was getting is like a movie date. I know, kind of random. I wasn't really expecting that, and it can seem like such a generic sort of date, but what I'm seeing here is this movie that you both watched together. I'm getting the sense here that it's going to move you both on a very deep level. That this story has like heartbreak in it, and I'm also sensing like a little bit of betrayal, okay, by someone that they thought they held close and dear to their heart. I see a lot of also like suffering, feeling left out in the cold. It could even be something like maybe the plot line of the movie is like they separate, and as a result of the separation, one of the persons is left destitute, like they have no money, okay, because their ex took all the money and now they're left with nothing. Or maybe the betrayal is kind of like they were abandoned somewhere and they didn't have any resources, like maybe they were left in a foreign country, or maybe they were left for dead, and they thought that the main character had died or perished in some kind of assassination or murder attempt or whatever, and then they had to rebuild their life with this new identity starting from scratch, right? It's making me think of that movie, Double Jeopardy. It's like an old movie, but it's one of my older sister's favorite movies, and it's basically based on this premise where this guy like supposedly murders his wife or has his wife murdered. I don't remember like why, but obviously she survives. And oh, no. Oh my gosh, sorry, pause, rewind. So what this story is about is, if I'm remembering it correctly, oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel like I have to look this up afterward. But so Double Jeopardy, this woman is framed or accused of murdering her husband or being responsible for her husband's death, but it was like truly orchestrated, and her husband really like was the one that arranged it, and she gets convicted, and then she has to go to jail, and then she's released from jail, and then she finds out that her husband is really alive. And the thing with Double Jeopardy is you can't be accused of the same crime twice once you've already been convicted of it. And so basically, she served time for killing her husband, and the rest of the mission of her life is to get revenge on her husband for, framing her and having her end up in jail for his murder. So it's a very, very interesting story. But I think that's the whole premise of Double Jeopardy in general, that you can't be convicted of the same crime twice. Like in that sense. So, anyways, I feel like I'm like going too far with this example, but I feel like that's part of the premise of the story. But again, at the heart of the story is like finding true love, finding a true connection, regardless of the heartbreak, the betrayal, the abandonment, the starting all over, starting from scratch, like whatever that thing is. What I'm seeing here is, it's a love story at heart, and I feel like there's actually also a very happy ending. And why is this movie date such a big deal for the two of you? And it is explained with this Hierophant card. So the Hierophant is really speaking a lot to traditions and really understanding like what you value and what's important to you. Like in a way, kind of your code of conduct, okay? And so as you both watch this movie, I feel like this very deep and powerful conversation is going to take place between the two of you, where you really get a glimpse of what each other's values are. It's like, oh my God, I would never do that. I would never betray somebody. That is such an awful thing to do, to betray someone's trust. And both of you will find that you truly agree. I feel like with the storytelling, it's such a beautiful way to like understand who you are, understand who other people are as well, by sharing stories with each other and kind of talking about a story that you read together, you watched together. It's like a beautiful way to bond and really get to know each other on a deeper level. And I feel like that's what this movie did for the two of you, or will do for the two of you, is really affirm that you guys are on the same page when it comes to value, when it comes to unconditional love, when it comes to supporting each other and honoring the commitment, because this is a future spouse reading, so it's kind of like you're getting married. And so to what degree do you hold your marriage vows, you know? Okay, I feel like we need to find out about another like big date that you guys have. So that was a very cute warm-up date. Let's see what is another one here. So we have Ace of Swords, Page of Swords. Oh my gosh, this is like so random. I feel like this is coming through. Two of Wands. I'm not sure why this is so strong. I'm going to tell you here in a moment. Let's just show all the cards though. And Queen of Wands. You know, I feel like we should just keep these cards kind of showing. I think that would be nice, right? Okay, this is obviously a spacing problem, so let's rectify that. Okay, so we have what I'm getting here as one of your dates is some sort of like escape room or even like a murder mystery dinner theater. I don't know if that still exists. I've always wanted to do one of those, and I don't know why I haven't yet done that. But the reason why I say that is because we have the Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So there's like some type of cerebral activity that you guys are going to be involved in. And that's why I was thinking like escape room or a murder mystery dinner theater. So something that is involving the intellect. And it might even be something like a trivia night as well. Okay, so I feel like that's one of the dates that you guys are going to go on. And I feel like with the Queen of Wands, you or your future spouse is really competitive. I'm getting that vibe here with the Queen of Wands, is that it's going to bring out your competitive side, and your future spouse, or you, depending on, again, who's the more competitive one, the other person is going to be kind of shocked and just be like, oh my gosh, like you're really taking this game so seriously. And it's going to kind of like blow the other person's mind at how into it you are when it comes to these challenges and intellectual puzzles that you are facing, right? And what's so interesting here with the Two of Wands is I'm really getting that one of you, again, is competitive and the other person isn't. It's almost like one of you cares more than the other person about getting things right, about solving the puzzle, about winning, right? And I feel like that's really gonna show another perspective. You know, I just got done rewatching Schitt's Creek, and it kind of reminds me of the dynamic between Patrick and David. And it's like David can kind of have this, like, what is that word? Disinterested, right, when it comes to sports and competition. Whereas Patrick, like you see in this episode where they're doing like a baseball game, a softball game, like Patrick's really competitive and he wants to win. And David's just like, I don't really care about this. I'm not a competitive person when it comes to sports. I don't even like playing sports, right? And then there's another episode where Patrick and the fam like go to an escape room and Patrick is really into it and he wants to, you know, beat the time clock, and David is kind of just like, I don't know, like I'm doing this for you because I love you, that kind of thing. And I feel like that's part of the dynamic on your date. So let me know in the comments down below, are you the competitive one or are you thinking your future spouse is the one that's more competitive? And I think it's really cool and exciting that you're going to uncover all these new layers and aspects of yourself while dating your future spouse. I think that's so exciting and I'm very excited for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm just going to keep this short. Never forget that it's not too late for your happily ever after, my dears. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hey there, group 2, and welcome to your reading to find out more about what it's like dating your future spouse. So to kick off this reading, we have the Chamomile card. Oh, this is a beautiful card. You know, in the time I've owned this deck, I've never seen this card come out in a reading, so I'm really excited to share a little bit about what that means with you all today. But let's reveal all the cards first. You also have Waterfall, Effortless. Oh, that is beautiful to see when it comes to this aspect of your relationship with your future spouse. So Angel of Love. Oh, the message is so clear, y'all, for your reading. So the main theme here is that dating your future spouse, OMG, dating your future spouse is going to be so effortless, so simple, so loving. And what I'm seeing here is perhaps some of you have had relationships in the past that were very challenging, very difficult. Like maybe you found yourselves constantly arguing or bickering or disagreeing. Maybe you found yourself in positions where it's like you end up going on dates and doing things that you don't want to do, but you felt sort of pressured to do because of your partner. And none of that energy is present here when you're dating your future spouse. And I'm getting the sense too that that's going to be a clue that this is going to be an obvious winner here for you, like someone that is definitely worth tying the knot with. And let me share a little bit about the meaning behind the chamomile here, according to the wonderful creator of this deck. So, firstly, we all know chamomile is pretty relaxing, right? Like a chamomile tea. It's relaxing, it's soothing, it helps people even relax enough to the point of going to sleep, right? And getting a restful night's sleep. And the other aspect of this chamomile too is it actually supports the other plants that it's around, and it improves like the taste and the sort of benefits of the herbs and plants that are around the chamomile. And so what you'll find when dating your future spouse is they are like so supportive. It's going to be unbelievable that you cross paths with someone who will support you in anything that you do, who doesn't doubt you, who doesn't put you down, who doesn't make you feel less than. While you date your future spouse, it's going to feel like you have never felt so empowered and so seen and so respected ever before in your life. That's how your future spouse will treat you while you're dating. And I think that's so beautiful because, again, I get this sense that, for a good part of your life, people around you have not really been as supportive, and when your future spouse come in, it's going to shock you. And then later on, it'll be like this breath of fresh air to truly feel what it's like to be loved and accepted by someone, and someone who will like take your side, and someone who doesn't question your abilities, someone who doesn't question your perspective and your actions and your opinion, right? I feel like maybe a lot of people in your life have doubted you, like doubted your competency, doubted your life choices, things like that. And I feel like your future spouse is not that person, and dating them is actually like super relaxing, super soothing. What I'm hearing is that it almost feels effortless and easy for them to just become this normal part of your life. Like it's not even an adjustment to have them be a part of your life and be a regular presence. It just kind of like makes sense. With this waterfall, it's kind of like everything just falls into place so easily. Like the way they integrate themselves in your life and even within your circle of friends and with your family, it's kind of like there's no drama, there's no heartbreak here. It's just beautiful to have them, and it's almost like I'm getting this feeling of like when you're with them, you feel like you're finally at home. Oh my God, and that's so beautiful. And with this energy too, what I'm getting is your future spouse is really like shows no inhibitions when it comes to displays of affection with you. Like I feel like PDA to the max with your future spouse. Like they're not afraid to hold your hand in public. They're not afraid to wrap their arm around your shoulders. They're not afraid to cuddle in public. They're not afraid to kiss you in public, hug you. Like they don't even care because they just want to love on you. They want to make sure you know that you're loved, you feel that you're loved. And even though I don't think this is one of their priorities, I think it's important that other people know that you're together, like in their mind. They want everyone to know, like, hey, this is my boo, back up, unless you guys are like in an open relationship, of course. But they just want to let people know, like, we are together. I love this person. I treasure this person. I am proud of this person. Like, that's their energy here. And I think, too, that that will actually open you up to be comfortable with receiving love and to show love as well. I feel like, tuning into the energies of many of you that were drawn to group 2, is that maybe you were never really comfortable with signs or displays of deep affection because you didn't get as much in your life. And maybe, you were hurt by people who you showed affection to. And you didn't want to kind of be put in that position again. Like I'm getting this hesitancy within you to really show somebody how much you care because maybe you felt vulnerable when you did so. But I feel that you're coming out of your shell by meeting your future spouse, that they are just going to be, 110% in, and you maybe might start at 70, then you'll get to 80 to 90 to 100 and then 110. Like you'll meet them there when it comes to outward displays of love and affection between the two of you. And I feel like, there's a lot of thoughtfulness coming through in your reading. Like, just little things like remembering how you like your coffee, or remembering what your favorite outfit is, or what your favorite color is, or remembering when you have a big meeting or a big event planned, a big day, right? And then they're there to support you, they're there to cheer you on, and they're there to follow up with you and make sure, like, hey, so I remember you saying that you had this meeting today, that you had to present something, like, how did it go, right? I feel like they constantly show that they're very attentive and interested in your life and what's going on, and that's part of that supportive energy too. Oh my God, I'm getting just these really warm, fuzzy, happy vibes from what it's like dating your future spouse. And I'm so happy for you. Now let's look at some dates, some memorable dates that you go. And we're gonna look at 2, okay? Because that's what I did for group 1. So we have the 9 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, the High Priestess, and the 10 of Wands. Okay, so this is really interesting. What I was getting from these vibes is some type of amusement park energy, okay? Like the 6 of Cups card was giving me amusement park, like Disneyland, or, whatever kind of amusement parks are close by to where you live. Like in the US, there's Six Flags, there's Busch Gardens, there's Knott's Berry Farm, there's Universal Studios, right? So wherever you are in the world, whatever those type of amusement parks or themed parks are, like, that's going to be a memorable date. The other thing I was getting though too, which is interesting, is well, hold on one second. This card made me think of Aladdin for some reason. Like, I don't know why I thought of Princess Jasmine and Aladdin, so that's also what made me think of Disneyland. But anyways, this one here also made me think of, drumroll, a haunted house. I know that haunted houses are not everybody's thing, but I'm getting the sense too that a haunted house is going to be one of your memorable dates. And to be honest, I think it's also a great reason to hold somebody else's hand in public and snuggle with them and cuddle them because you're so scared or terrified. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's really, really cute. And it's also making me think too, there's a haunted house kind of ride in Disneyland, and I want to say during Halloween it's redone, so it's very much like the Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, Haunted Mansion, there you go, that's the name of the ride. Oh wow, that was a struggle. So I'm getting the sense too that that's going to be something very memorable for you. I remember the last time I went to a haunted house, it was actually more like a haunted corn maze. And the first time I went to this corn maze, I was scared so bad. I was literally screaming and running through this corn maze. And I was really let down because I went to that corn maze a few years ago with my friends. Once again, it had probably been 5-7 years in between, and it was not scary. And I was so bummed about that. Not that I really enjoy getting scared, but if I'm paying money to go to a haunted house or haunted corn maze, I need to be scared. That's the whole point of them, I think. So anyways, totally got sidetracked. Now, what am I seeing here with this 10 of Wands? I'm really feeling I'm looking at the top of this tree, and it's making me think of shelter. That what I'm seeing here is that what you're going to realize from this date is that you are just so utterly safe in the arms of your future spouse. Like, they make you feel safe. And it's not even that, like, just safe, like, oh, they'll protect you if someone tries to, like, steal your wallet or your purse or assault you. Like, they are big enough or strong enough to, like, beat them up or whatever. Like, it's not even that type of safety. It's more like you can be safe to be yourself, to be like a child again, to be goofy, to show fear. Like, you're safe to feel vulnerable. Like, I think that's what we were talking about here in the beginning, and I feel like this is like this date to some kind of amusement park or whatever is just going to be one of those opportunities to see just how accepting your future spouse is of all sides of you. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, oh my gosh, I love that. Oh, and I saw this book again. It's making me think of fairy tales, and Disneyland is all about like fairy tale stories and stuff like that. So let's find out about another one of your dates. I feel like we should put this. Will it fit? Okay, good. It'll show. 10 of Cups. Okay, I'm getting another idea here. 4 of Swords. 4 of Cups. And, okay, I feel like this other card wanted to come out. So you will get 5 this time around. 5 of Wands and the Strength card. Okay, so what is this showing? I am sensing another one of sort of like your major dates is some kind of family gathering. I'm also hearing like a family reunion, either your family reunion or your future spouse's family reunion. That's going to also be a very meaningful date for you all. I'm getting the sense here that maybe one of you is going to be reluctant to go, but you feel trapped and like you just have to go. People are expecting you to be there. And I'm getting that, interestingly enough, that this family gathering is going to be a bit challenging, okay? I'm getting that because we have the 5 of Wands here and the Strength card, where it's going to take a lot of somebody's willpower not to argue, because, sometimes at these big family gatherings, like certain topics come up that are kind of sensitive, like religion, politics, that kind of thing. And I feel like there's gonna be like a disagreement or like opposing viewpoints that are going to be brought up. And because this is a family event, like everyone, at least you and your future spouse, are just really trying to be on your best behavior and not ruffle a lot of feathers and trying to keep the peace here. And I think what's going to be so beautiful is that you really will feel the love and support of your future spouse. Okay. So maybe there's a family gathering and, I don't know, you get teased or picked on by a sibling or a relative. And that's just something that they've always done. Maybe they have like a name that they used to tease you by since you were a little kid because of something that happened. And you'll be pleasantly surprised that your future spouse, they will have your back. That they'll speak as to what a wonderful person you are now. Maybe they'll even find, to be honest, because I feel like this is just how your future spouse is, they'll find the nickname like super cute and adorable, even though you're totally embarrassed by it and you hate it. I think they will love it because it's you. And it just goes to show like they love all of you, even the parts you feel ashamed or embarrassed about. They love it to death. But at the same time, they will stand up for you and they will really discourage any additional teasing of you. And they'll have your back, they'll have your support. And I think they'll do it in a very like polite way as well. And I think that's really beautiful here. And I think it's really going to help you kind of see them in a new light and kind of confirm to yourself, if you were having any doubts, that this person really loves you and they care about you. And they won't let anybody hurt you or do anything bad to you, even if they are family. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, again, they have your back. They truly do care and love you. Oh my God, this was just so stinking adorable. Let me know what you thought of your reading. Give me a little heart if you're looking forward to dating your future spouse down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. I'm just going to keep it short today and let you all No, and remind you that it is not too late for your happily ever after. See you next time, loves. Hey there, Group 3, and welcome to your reading to find out what it's like dating your future spouse. So I'm so excited to see that the Magnolia card came out for your group reading because Magnolia is one of my favorite scents when it comes to flowers. I know a lot of people tend to like jasmine or ylang ylang, but I really love magnolia, and geranium is another one I also really love the scent of. So I'm glad to see that. We'll talk about that card in just a moment here. Let's reveal the other two. We have wolf, instinct. And we also have for you the sun. Wow, what a beautiful card with this number one. Okay, so let's get started talking about this Magnolia card, and then I feel like I'll get a little bit more messages and clarity about the other two and how they all kind of relate. And then we'll talk about a couple of dates that are going to be very memorable for you with your future spouse. So the Magnolia card. So what's so beautiful about the Magnolia card, as the author of this deck describes, is there's this energy of preparedness about the Magnolia card. There's this energy of stability, of grace, of perseverance with this card. And so what I'm seeing here, that dating your future spouse is going to bring a lot more structure and order into your life. Like maybe before you meet your future spouse, life felt a little bit chaotic. Maybe it even felt a bit like you were lacking in direction and you didn't really know what you were trying to do with your life. You didn't know where you were headed. Like you had goals, but maybe some of them just weren't sticking, right? Or maybe you constantly had different goals and different interests, and so maybe you felt like as a whole you weren't getting anywhere because you didn't feel interested enough to stick with just one thing to fully reap the results and benefits of that sustained work, right? And I feel with your future spouse, they're gonna be this like stabilizing and grounding presence in your life. I feel like, you know, your future spouse is probably highly organized and they will help you get organized and kind of put together, you know, and they'll keep things running smoothly for you in your life. I get the sense that, you know, they probably, as I'm feeling into it now, they probably have a lot of earth energy to them. Like their earth sign could be earth sign. Oh my God, their sun sign, excuse me, hello. Their sun sign could be in an earth sign like Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Okay, so someone that really knows how to keep the home organized, keep your schedule aligned, and make sure that you're not missing deadlines, that you're making it to places on time, that you're finishing things on time, so you don't get any like late fees or miss out completely because the deadline passed, like that kind of thing. I really feel like there's some earth energy in there because earth energy is so good with structure and organization and making sure things get done. And I feel that very strongly for you, that that's going to change your world as you're dating your future spouse. And you're going to find that you really are quite capable. If someone were just help you stay organized and stay on top of things, you know, you achieve quite a lot. Interestingly here with the wolf and instinct, there's something about this like lone wolf versus being part of a pack. There's this dynamic that I'm feeling happening here. And maybe there was a point in your life where it felt like you had to do everything on your own, that you couldn't rely on anybody and you had to be like fully independent. And that could be why maybe things have been a bit chaotic or disorganized for you, because you didn't feel comfortable always asking for help, asking for other people to do things for you. And so you kind of just took on a lot of things and you took on a lot. But with your future spouse, while you're dating them, it will become a lot easier for you to kind of share the load and come to like rely on someone else. Kind of built that pack dynamic where it's like, let's work together for our common goals, our common dreams and wishes. Let's work together and support each other. Like that's that kind of energy that I'm getting here, that will come through as you're dating your future spouse. Is being able to share the workload between the two of you. Yes, yes. Okay. Now, what else is going on though with this Sun card here? I'm getting the sense that with this Sun card, dating your future spouse is almost like letting you be the best version of yourself possible. Like they will bring out the best in you. I'm also hearing, that I'm getting instructions to draw some tarot cards to kind of explain this a little bit more before we move on to the whole like specific dates thing. So we have the Chariot, the Two of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Okay, yeah, so this is making sense to me now. So before, you just really weren't able to see the clear pathway forward. Like there were a lot of distractions, there were a lot of like conflicting pieces of information and conflicting pieces of advice and guidance. And so it was like, it's almost like you felt like you were chasing your tail around, right? So you weren't able to see. Everything seemed too chaotic. Again, conflicting viewpoints, conflicting advice, conflicting feelings about what to do next. And what's going to be happening here is with the Chariot, this is like I see your future spouse is like taking the reins here and guiding the ship in a direction. And once, the ship is moving in this direction, it can move faster versus as it tries to like twist and turn and like, should I go this way? Should I go that way? It's making me think of, one of my favorite things in the Sunday comics back when people actually loved reading the news on like newspapers is Family Circus. Let me know in the comments down below if you are familiar with Family Circus. Like I know back in the day, the more popular comics were Woodstock or Charlie Brown. Calvin and Hobbes. Oh my God, Calvin and Hobbes. I used to remember those decals on people's trucks where like they were like peeing on something. So Calvin and Hobbes, and did I say Garfield? Yeah, Garfield, Calvin and Hobbes, and like Woodstock or like Snoopy. That sort of Charlie Brown kind of like thing. But Family Circus, there was this little kid who, it would be this scene of like this chaotic backyard or living room, and then there's this dotted line kind of like showing the path that this kid had taken all the way around this room or around the yard or whatever. And I'm saying that because I feel like maybe that's how you felt your life was like, where you're just going around in circles or like all these twists and turns in life, and it wasn't like very clear and straightforward and like on point. But your future spouse will really bring that, and that's what I'm seeing with the Chariot card. And so you're going to be making a lot more progress on your goals and dreams and wishes and visions because they'll bring that element of organization into your life. So let's take a look at these dates that you're going to go on, right? Some memorable dates that you and your future spouse are going to have together. So the first one we have Three of Wands, Queen of Coins, Wheel of Fortune, and Page of Coins. So this is really interesting. I'm going to share this with you, and as with any reading, like take what resonates with you and forget the rest. I'm seeing here that there's some type of obstacle course. That's what I'm seeing here. There was a 5K run that I'd done with my friends. I want to say twice I did this with them when I was living in Boston, Massachusetts, and I loved this thing. It kind of fulfilled this inner desire of mine to be on like this Nickelodeon show that was like a competition. But I'm seeing like Rugged Maniac. So these like obstacle course events, and these obstacle course 5K runs, like I feel like that's going to be one of the dates that you and your future spouse go on. It could even be actually what I'm hearing now as well is like putt-putt golf, like miniature golf. Like there's all those little obstacles and like the different structures to, golf through. So I'm feeling like there's something like that, like a puzzle or obstacle course that you have to go through to finish. And I think To me, anyway, that sounds like a really fun date, to be honest with you. Um, what else am I seeing here? I'm also feeling like zoo. Actually, I'm also definitely seeing that. So going out on a date to a zoo, or maybe even, no, it's not a zoo. Sorry, I was thinking aquarium as well, but it was like, no, 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 only zoo. So like land animals is what I'm getting here. So zoo or some type of like wildlife safari or like nature trek. So in the Pacific Northwest in Washington, there's this nature trek where you go through like this huge property of acreage, like in the forest, and then like there's a lot of animals that you can see on the nature trek. Some of them are in like enclosed areas, but not necessarily a cage. And some of them are like kind of roaming through this large plot of land, like the deer and the bunnies and things like that. And you just go on this ride and go through. And in when I was living in Texas, there was also like this sort of like wildlife safari that had like giraffes and ostriches and like wildebeest. Like they had all these like animals you would see sort of in an African safari, but here in the US. So I'm also seeing like that's one of the things. And in that one, you like are in your own car and you're just driving your car slowly through this track. Let me know if you've ever been on one of those like wildlife safaris. I think they even have a ride like that in Disney World in their like Animal Kingdom section of Disney World. So yeah, oh my god, that sounds like such a fun date, y'all. Not that I'm really into like animals in captivity, but I can appreciate the experience at least. Um, I'm also getting the sense too with this, like I'm getting this kind of Christmas vibe because of the reindeer. So there's probably like a holiday trip that you're going to do or go on where it's snowing with your future spouse. I see you guys kind of going to a mountainy region here. So it could be when it's snowing, maybe you're going to go skiing or snowboarding as one of your dates. But also because there's like greenery here, I'm getting the sense too, it could even be, in some of these ski resorts, they run in the summer or the spring, and it's just like you go on these hiking trails through the mountains and the hills. So I feel like that's also another one of the options for your date. Oh wow, you're getting a lot, group three, as far as the dates. Like it was very distinct and clear, like the two dates that I was talking about for the other groups. So really exciting for you. Oh, we need one more. Okay, so let's see what happens. We have 10 of Wands, the Tower, and the Seven of Wands. Oh my gosh, this actually makes me think of Disneyland. And I want to say, oh my gosh, was it group two? I think group two also got like Disneyland, but theirs was broader, like an amusement park. But for you, I'm feeling like Disneyland because with this tower, I'm thinking like I'm seeing the Tower of Terror, and with this little skull here as well, the Tower of Terror is coming through as one of like your dates, and maybe you both like kind of that thrill of going to heights and like getting dropped, or like with the roller coaster. I mean, let me know if you're a fan of roller coasters and the rides like Tower of Terror in the comments down below. Give me a little heart so I know that it's you, because I love roller coasters. And the Tower of Terror is also a very fun ride for me. It terrified me at first, of course, but after that first experience, I found it to be really fun, and it's like this fun thrill. And here with the Seven of Wands, it's so interesting because I'm also getting Disney vibes, because so many things in the past couple of years have been like built or reconstructed in Disney, right? Like they have like the Marvel Cinematic Universe thing now in Disneyland. And since the last time I went to Disney World, they built the Avatar, like sort of this section Animal Kingdom that's inspired to be like Pandora, right? So there's all this construction and changes that are happening in Disneyland, even not just new rides and stuff, but like as they change for the season, when they put the Easter decorations out, when they put the Halloween decorations out, when they put the Christmas decorations out, right? So the park itself has a lot of transformations and makeovers, and that's what I'm getting with this Seven of Wands. Oh, we also have the Knight of Wands here. Am I getting anything unique or different from that? I'm just feeling very much like adventure with this card right here. And I think like Adventure Land is like part of the Disneyland like sections or towns or whatever they call them. So I'm getting like a lot of like adventurous, whimsical kind of energy coming through. So, woo! I mean, I have to say, y'all, I think that your little dates here are probably my favorite out of all three. Okay, so congratulations on this lovely, lovely experiences you're gonna have with your future spouse while you're dating each other. And if you are interested in personal readings, like just take a look at the description box below to see how to request one from me. But I'll keep this short. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your love and support as always. I'm so happy to have done this for you. Remember, it's never too late for your happily ever after. See y'all next time.